So real quick, I want to do a runaround about what boat I'm using. This is our GoDevil. It's an 1860, 18 foot long, 60 inches wide. They're flat bottom boats. Absolutely flat. They're made for running in the mud. It's got a chine on it, so it turns really well. I put that Fortrex motor on there. It's a great trolling motor. It's about the toughest trolling motor you can buy. Because of where I'm at with this thing, you kind of need a tough one. When I had them build this boat, special order for me. So the gas tank is usually, when they build one of these, is on the port side, but we put it on the starboard side because I pull it with my Blazer, which it's an 87 Blazer. The fuel tank is on the passenger side. So this way, like I just did, I went and got fuel. I could fill up the Blazer and just pull up and fill up the boat. I don't have to stretch that hose across or move around and all that. I put the 24 volt trolling motor on there because a 36 volt, I didn't want to have the weight of 3 batteries. I would have put a 12 volt one in here if I thought it would carry the weight of this boat, but it just wouldn't. So we went ahead and put the 24 volt one in here. I got all the bells and whistles when I bought this. There's actually a box with a seat that goes there, but it's easier just to throw the cooler in there. I got a gun box and a fishing rod box for it that bolts in on the stringers right where those bolts are at. And again, I don't use them very often. It's like when I travel, I'll put them in here so I can lock the guns up and stuff. And they're built tough. These boats are, you can see how that's, I don't know if you could tell, but all the aluminum stress, they've got it bent and it looks like it's out of whack, but they do that on purpose because it adds strength. And this thing is not typical John boat. I forgot what thickness that aluminum is, but it's the thickest they can use. This spud, we were trying to decide how to mount the transducer for the trolling motor, or for the Humminbird. And when I was there, I was asking Warren Coco that owns GoDevil about it when we picked the boat up, about where I should mount that transducer. And the guys were all standing there. It was first thing in the morning, and it was like, you know what? One of the guys said, I got an idea, and that's a spud holder that they use to, you mount them around the side of the boat. So you could put a stake in there, the push pole or whatever, to anchor the boat in the shallow water when we're duck hunting. But he built me that in about 10 minutes. So I literally can pop this out, drop the transducer down to where it's level with the bottom of the boat, and then pull it back up where it's out of the way. And I could put it real deep if I want to, just, depending on if we're fishing something off rock piles or something, or it's 40, 50 foot deep, like some of these lakes are. This is a GoDevil surface drive. It's a 40 horsepower Briggs & Stratton electronic fuel injection. It's got, 4 neutral and reverse. Absolutely wonderful. I was going to get a tiller motor with just a tiller handle. My wife was like, nope, we're getting the center console. We're going to put reverse in it because you're getting old and you're going to need it. And boy, am I glad we did that, because it's real nice. Hey, hush. Dog's got to be barking at everything. She's mad she didn't get to go fishing this morning. Anyway, we got the center console. I have a Humminbird. I took it down because I'm going to leave the boat out here because I'm going to go fishing probably Saturday morning. Anyway, awesome boat. GoDevil has got the best customer service of any of the mud motors. I tried to buy a Mud Buddy years ago when I got my first GoDevil because all my friends had GoDevils. I'd sold my airboat because it was just so dang expensive to run that airboat. It was costing me $400 a day to run it just in fuel. And I love my airboat, but I could go just about any place with the GoDevil that I could go with the airboat, except for running dry, or what we call running the hill. But anyway, I'd called Mud Buddy trying to get a motor, and they wouldn't even call me back to sell me one, because I was like, hey, I called them for probably a month, a couple times a week. And I finally was like, look, I got cash. I really want to buy one of these things. And they never called me back. So I figured, you know what? If they're not going to call me back to sell me a motor, they sure aren't going to call me back when I need service. And Warren Coco has spent 2 days on the phone with me because my other boat was a GoDevil tiller-handled 23 horsepower Vanguard. And I had an issue and I couldn't figure it out. And the owner of GoDevil spent 2 days on the phone with me. I mean, for 6-7 hours a day while I was tearing that apart, trying to figure out where the vibration was coming from. And it turned out it was a problem with the cowling. When it got under torque, a little fin had broke and it was banging against the flywheel. So it wasn't a GoDevil issue, but that man balanced 2 props for me for free, was on the phone with me trying to figure it out. When I finally figured it out, he was like, man, it was just something that was really quirky, and I fixed it in 5 minutes. But they were just awesome with their customer service. And when we built this boat, he said we've never had anybody that built a boat that got every single accessory. So they did video of it and stuff. So it was the first one that they did that had everything on it. It's just an awesome boat. But this is what we're fishing out of and hunting out of, because this is what I use to get to where I deer hunt. It runs in no water. I mean, it's a mud motor. We don't have a lot of that muddy stuff out here except for up at Mud Lake. But the trailer is a McLean trailer built in Texas, I think, or they might be built in Louisiana too, but it's a super heavy duty trailer. I mean, I've towed this thing across the country twice. Once when we picked it up, and once when I took it to Florida for 6 weeks back 2 years ago. And I usually pull it with my Blazer here, an 87 Blazer that I completely refurbished. So it's a great looking rig, but when I went to Florida, I took my wife's Grand Cherokee. But anyway, I just thought I'd run through this a little bit and show you all what we've got. I did put lights in this. It's pretty cool that there's a light that when we're duck hunting, it's hard to see the bottom. So they make these stern lights. You can see I put in the stern light here, turn the stern light on. And you don't want to leave it on for too long because it'll get hot. But it's a bright LED, and it'll light when you're putting decoys out, it will light up the bottom. And everybody thought, well, why would you do that? Till they used it. And the first time we did it, they were like, holy cow. And then I also put LEDs here around the hole underneath and in all the compartments. So when I turn that on, I've got lighting, but it's red lights. Hush! I got red lights. You can see they're pretty bright, but again, they're red, so it doesn't affect your night vision. So when we're running, we can turn them on. The other cool thing is when you have all the red lights on, it's pretty badass.